Lookout Mountain Air Force Station's secret U.S. military film studio in the Hollywood Hills, and it was used to make films of nuclear testing. It's right there in the Hollywood Hills, Hollywood Bowl, Hollywood Boulevard.
Because if I'm the government, I'm going to control things. And basically the government is going to be more concerned about controlling the big cities.
Militia groups, 3%ers, Oath Keepers, and I can't tell you, I saw when I was a soldier, I saw a list of what they call terror organizations. Now it's huge. Essentially all you have to do is disagree with the government. Even Christians are now wrapped in it. So welcome to Occupy Wall Street. You just joined the majority of America and becoming terrorists.
In-depth vision and dream about basically the destruction of America, this big massive earthquake. Then he saw where the UN soldiers come flooding in, and he said they were like zombies.
Now Jared Leto actually has purchased this facility as a private home now. So you can see the checkerboard floor, a lot of this pattern around this house, which is a Masonic sign, of course. There's another one, checkerboard floor. Whole house almost seems to have a checkerboard floor, doesn't it? Just about every room.
Our government made a series of hasty decisions. Poorly planned, haphazard approach. Too often, we set those principles aside as luxuries that we could no longer afford. Our government made decisions based on fear rather than foresight.
Okay, what they're going to do is they're going to starve you out. Okay, if I'm the government, I stop the trucks from running, I stop the food supplies, I stop, you know, like I said, fresh water that can be easily cut off as well. So now, how long can you hold out?
And basically, if you didn't go with them to the FEMA camps, they would just kill you in your house. I had a dream America was bombed in New York City and Florida, and Russian troops invaded us and were putting America in FEMA camps.
I do have a short article I would like to read. The title of the article I would like to read is FEMA Smart Guillotines or Guillotines Placed in FEMA Internment Camps. And I shall read.
They're turning with all the Walmart and the FEMA camps. I mean, it's starting to get bad. You gotta stop the pound.
Right here at Walmart in Cockeysville, Maryland. Next to the Army base, this is a secret base. This is a contractor that works here, AAI Corporation. Wave to the camera. How you doing? I'd like to go up a little further, but they'll send somebody down. There's a lot of Army shit on there. There's an underground base right there.
Road was filled with which I thought was portable toilets. I never looked at them that close. What were they? Because I'd never seen anything like that. And his statement was that if he told me, I would be one of few people in Madison, Georgia that
wondered if the New World Order set up all these FEMA camps for future invading armies to maintain and control. In other words, the power elite, they might tell the military that they're building all these FEMA camps for civil unrest, just in case there's an economic crash or some major disaster. You know, whatever deception or excuse they are telling the military is not what the real purpose behind these FEMA camps really are.
They're gonna send us all to FEMA camps, at least the ones they catch. I ain't getting caught, and you shouldn't either. Cause if you get caught, you're dead. That's all I can say. I was trying to get the word out. We'll try to wake people up. If they don't listen, they blow you off like you're some crazy person. We're not crazy.
With no food, no fresh water, and stuff like that. Okay? How long can you hold out? Eventually, you're going to run out of food. Eventually, you know, you're not going to be able to do those things that you want to normally do. If you really...
Here's the kicker. I was just talking with a friend of mine, former Special Forces. For those of you that don't know, I was a member of Army Psychological Warfare for a period of about 5 years in the Army Reserve, and I served a tour in Afghanistan. As such, FBI, OGA, CIA, got to work with all of them at some point. So this is what my buddy tells me.
We determined that the United States must hold individuals to keep them from carrying out an act of war. We will do so within a system that involves judicial and congressional oversight. And so going forward, my administration will work with Congress to develop an appropriate legal regime so that our efforts are consistent with our values and our Constitution.
Standing around while a supposed nuclear bomb goes off above them in the sky. So if you notice, the sky kind of turns dark, and then you've got this alleged mushroom cloud. And then it's zoomed back to them, and it's daytime at about 2:24, 2 minutes 24 seconds into it. You can't help but to notice this guy. He's smiling. He's trying not to laugh.
Some of the nuclear test footage and see if it looks real to you. So notice this edit right there. It makes more sense if this was just made in a studio, and you notice the music just overly dramatic and some kind of line coming across the water there. There's people watching, and I mean, this is it's just not real.
On January 23rd, a United States Air Force C-17 cargo plane arrived at Andrews Air Force Base loaded with crates of smart guillotines, says a White House insider speaking under condition of anonymity. The technologically advanced guillotines, he said, are being manufactured in Beijing before being flown exclusively to U.S. air bases. Then, the military distributes the guillotines to FEMA camps nationwide.
Look at that! These guys out here working behind the Walmart. What are they doing?
They good at everything out of Walmart. That shit crazy. Look at that. They just good at everything out of there.
As you can see, this is a Walmart disaster response team. This pretty much confirms that this is going to be a FEMA camp.
I'm at the neighborhood Walmart in San Jose, California. And this is what it has become. I did not want to believe it, but it's happening.
Ago, I stumbled upon a video on YouTube, 5 Visions of End Times. And basically this guy, he saw where foreign troops were rounding up Americans, and they were trying to sniff out the Christians. And it really makes me wonder if it was all planned out from the beginning. The power elite are going to use foreign troops to kill you.
That all of us rely on the grid, rely on society, if you will, even if we try to be separate from it, okay? But the thing is, if it comes right down to it at the end of the day, if they cut off that food and they cut off, you know, and that, realistically, that's all they got to do is cut off the food. You stop the trucks from running, and eventually you're going to starve people out. And people are going to come down, and they're going to willingly give up their weapons for help, for food. People are going to do it.
If you see U.S. Army Northcom get marched out to start putting down the Occupy Wall Street protests, so if they march the federal army out, active duty soldiers, and you see them kill or seriously injure one protester, you're going to start to witness the shit hitting the fan and splaying the room.
As their disposable coffins, I believe he told me, who owned them, and he stated that the CDC owned them and that they...
Time to do tons of research into it, but just looking at these images here and the fact that it's made in a Hollywood studio, it makes me believe that nuclear weapons in fact do not exist.